So today we're going to go over basic accounting statements. So we're going to look at the income statement, the balance sheet, and cash flows. And to do this, we're going to look at Lululemon's statements, which are things that they have to make public since they're a publicly traded company. Other companies that aren't publicly traded don't have to show these documents to everyone else. But for the ones that are, you can literally just I just Googled Lululemon income statement and this came up. So today we're just going to look at their finances and see how they've been doing as a company, both for their fourth quarter in 2014 and for the full year. So here you just have basically a summary of how they did in bullet points. Like gross profit for the quarter increased by 11% to $310 million, which is actually pretty impressive. We're going to just zoom in a little bit so it's easier for you to see. Okay, and if you scroll down after all these bullet points, you can look at their statements. So this first statement is their income statement. So it has net revenue. So you can see that their net revenue for their fourth quarter for 2015 and also their fourth quarter for 2014. So this is fourth quarter this year, fourth quarter last year, and this is for the full year this year and full year last year. So if you want to look at their cost of goods sold and their net revenue, you can see that for the 13 weeks that ended February 1st, 2015, they made $602 million approximately, because these are in thousands. So whatever number you see here, you can just imagine that there's a comma and 3 more zeros after it. So they made $602 million. Their cost of goods sold, so basically just the cost of making all the items they sold, was $292 million. So after that, they only had $310 million. And they took out a bunch of other expenses, like having to rent their office, having to pay for administrators, having to do all of that. So at the end, we can see that their net income for the 13 weeks, which is a quarter, was $110 million, approximately, almost $111 million. So if we go on, we can look at their balance sheet. So this is the balance sheet for February 1st, 2015, and also the balance sheet as of February 2nd, 2014. So we can look at their assets, which are basically, assets are just things that they have. So they have 1.2, almost 1.3 billion in assets right now. In terms of liabilities and stockholders' equity, liabilities are things that they owe other people, and stockholders' equity is how much other people own of the company. So total liabilities and stockholders' equity also equals 1.2, almost 1.3 billion. And this is supposed to happen. So the whole idea of a balance sheet is that it balances out. So the liabilities plus stockholders' equity is always equal to the value of their assets. And you can look at for 2014, if we look in this column, you'll see that the same thing holds true. Both are $1.25 billion. Okay, so we can go on to the cash flow statement. And the cash flows is literally just like what it says. It's a statement of the cash flows of the company. So we can see that from net income, they had $239 million. Again, remember, all these numbers are expressed in thousands, so we can just pretend that there's like another comma and then 3 other zeros behind each number. So if we look at the net income, net cash provided by operating activities, net cash used in investing activities, we can see that their cash and cash equivalents at the end of this year was $664 million, which is actually a little less than last year when it was $698 million. And if you look, you can see that some of these numbers are in parentheses, which just means that they are numbers that have been subtracted. So net cash used in investing activities, that means that Lululemon used 119 million of their dollars to invest in other things. So that's why you have to take it out of the net cash that they get from just operating as a company. And that's it. Those are the three main financial statements. Just a really quick overview of them. You can take a look at them yourself if you Google Lululemon financial statements, or you could look at any other publicly traded company as well.